The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Ignition sequence starts.
Welcome to the Apollo Hour, the emergency broadcast. It is your boy Apollo Dez with Spaceman, Mr. Ribbit Roughneck. I can't say thank you enough for Collin being a gracious host to have us in your wonderful man cave. I mean,
yeah.
Camera 1, camera 2, pan out, look at this.
It is a sweet fucking showroom.
It's the room to be in.
It is.
So thank you so
Very
much for having
vibe,
us, sir.
You're welcome. No problem.
What's up, boys? It's been a minute. Audio's working, hopefully. So hopefully we get this out into the universe. But how's everything been?
Same old shit with me, dude.
Man, it really
Watching
is.
the world burn.
Same shit, just watching the world burn.
No sports, world burning. I mean, it's
so weird how we went from just all the sports all back at once. Like it was a little bit of dribble with like boxing, and then a little bit of dribble with MMA, and
soccer.
then just bam, soccer, bam, baseball, bam, basketball, boom. We're right in the playoffs with everything. Oh my god! And then it's
back.
just all gone. Yeah,
And now
it's just gone.
gone.
We got football.
Yeah, we have football. We have college football whenever
Still
they
got
play. Golf, NBA draft tonight. But let's just dive into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. The Rocket drama. That's why we're here. We're here for the state of Houston sports, and it has not been great the last year.
It's a dumpster.
It hasn't been great the last year. Let's go right into the Rockets first. MDA's out.
He gone.
Morey out. Then we go get Stone. Then we get Salas. Everything looks like it's perfect. The ship is righted. Everything's good. Then the bombs stop dropping. Westbrook wants out. Harden wants out.
They went out.
Tucker wants a new contract. Eric Gordon's not happy about his role. Rivers wants to test free agency. What is going on, boys?
So first off, let's take a step back. All right, recency bias is real, right?
100%.
Especially in the age of COVID, where everything sucks. Everything's the worst it's ever been. Oh, it's 2020. Everything's fucked.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back. All right. If you look at the 2002 to like 2006 Houston sports scene, it was trash.
Trash.
It was really bad.
Not great.
Not great. So Texans,
Astros
in
had a
04 and
little
05.
glimpse.
well, here's the thing:
Still
is
lost.
that even those Astros, right, committed a lot of money to Carlos Lee and committed a lot of money
Clemens
to
and Pettit,
Clemens
who are
and
50 years old.
Pettit, and like everyone just got old really fast, and the contracts got bad really fast, and there was no farm team, and this was what led to the 100-loss seasons.
Correct.
Right? The Rockets, Tracy and Yao just can't stay on the fucking court together. They're hurt all the time. You finally move on from that era into the Kevin Martin era. Very
Favorite
forgettable.
Kevin Martin.
Very forgettable. The Texans, obviously a beginning franchise, but you go from Dom, the head coach, and Charlie Casserly, the GM. Then you go to Rick Smith. And people hated Rick Smith, even though he did a good job. So what I'm saying now is that this is bad, but it's still good. You've still got a World Series championship caliber team in the Astros. The Texans are an absolute dumpster fire, but they have talent. There is talent there.
Seems like there's one piece of talent on each side of the ball.
There's one piece on each side, and you're not going to be able to build around
They
it.
sell the jerseys.
Yes.
And your question about the Rockets. Daryl's gone. MDMA's gone. They had their chance.
MDMA.
Or MDA. Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, we got
So,
one of those.
anyways, Daryl's gone. MDA's gone. Right. But they had their chance. They've been trying to build a winner here for 7 years. 6 years. 7 years.
Let's talk about the circumstances of them leaving, though. Right?
Not great.
They were terrible.
Not great.
So, D'Antoni, of course, they tried to extend him last year.
Yes.
Didn't come to an agreement with him, probably because of Tillman Fertitta. Right? Daryl Morey says it was like their number one priority to extend him. And what's he do whenever they get bounced out of the West? He tells them on the fucking plane ride home,
Hey,
I'm out.
Well, I mean,
It was going to be
look, all
another.
that's really shitty, but what's the good way to get fired?
It was another year where it was championship
or bust.
or bust. It was his job was on the line. He knew it. Shit, they may have fired him. Tillman Fertitta didn't even call him after the series was over, and he took that as a huge sign of disrespect. And I think that was one of the reasons why he stepped out.
Yeah, I think you have a big gap and big language barrier in the sport where you have a new owner who hasn't never been in this sphere of sports, and you have an old school coach who kind of abides to the old school rules, right? You know, you want your owner to reach out to the head coach in that conversation. There's a disconnect there, obviously, and maybe that's how he operates.
Was there a lack of respect? Probably, but
Tillman Fertitta spends his whole life on the telephone, dude. He knows he needs.
Well, again, like, what's the good way to get fired? You know, like Mike D'Antoni, you just lost in the playoffs again. You just lost in, like, really ugly fashion in the playoffs again. James didn't show up in the playoffs again. Like, is Tillman dying to get on the phone and be like, hey, let's talk about this? Like, I'm sure everybody's pissed off, you know? So if Mike wants to take it personal that, hey, you were supposed to call me and we're supposed to have a end-of-season wrap and discuss, like, the things about the season that were good and bad and beginning game plan going into next season, like, that can wait a week. It doesn't have to be the day of. So if D'Antoni wants to use this as, well, I felt disrespected by him. Well, dude, I feel disrespected by you choking in the playoffs for 7 years in a row.
Yeah,
you know?
I think you touched on a good point.
Like, what's the good way to get fired?
I think you touched on a good point. I think, and we're looking at it now, almost everyone has 1 foot out in that situation. Like, is MDA's 1 foot out the disrespect of Tillman not reaching out? I mean, we can look at the other angle of him like, hey, I don't want to be here. Let's just use this. And now with Westbrook and Harden, we're seeing with not being in the talks of hiring a GM, they're now taking offense to that, not being in that. So they're using other angles to be like, hey, I'm going to use this to get out my get out of jail card.
I'm going to do something very few people are doing right now. I'm pro Tillman on this.
Wow.
With his handling of this.
Fire take alert.
Look. Tillman is a businessman, and Tillman is you're not going to tell me what the fuck to do kind of guy. So when I hear James Harden being like, James and Russell saying, well, Daryl brought us in on all the decisions, and Daryl told us, I told Daryl what I wanted done, and it got done, and Daryl let me have this loose atmosphere, and well, okay, that didn't work, right? So now Tillman goes out and he makes a decision, and he hires Raphael Stone, and he hires stylists, and Russell and James are like, well, we weren't brought in on this decision. Well, no, the fuck you weren't. You're players, okay? I own the franchise. I make the decision. And while I hope it's a good fit for you, yeah, at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. And that's the kind of guy Tillman is, it feels like. So when James Harden goes in there and tells Tillman, and again, this is something I respect about Tillman. When James Harden goes in there and he tells Tillman, I want to trade. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go to New Jersey and play with Kevin, and I want to go play with Kyrie, and I want to go chase a title. And Tillman says, well, I'm really glad to hear that you want that, James. When your contract is over in 3 years, you're more than welcome to go wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But during those 3 years, you're probably going to be here because we're not going to get a package worthy of your talent.
And if you could show up in the playoffs, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic too.
It all hinges, and we can look back and revisionist history that we were built. Maury's brainchild was being built to defeat the Warriors, right?
Yeah,
and we almost got there. And then no one across any levels expected Kevin Durant to go to Golden State. That was the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And so from then you can't. There's nothing you can do. You can't go get a third superstar to Houston. We're just not that market at that time. And
Kevin Durant was absolute nails all the way through the post.
Yeah, wow. and then people will look back the Chris Paul hamstring, obviously. If that's
a what if.
That's a what if. You can't play what ifs.
No.
But what if Chris Paul hurts his hamstring and James Harden steps up and he's the superstar he's fucking supposed to be? Because you had a lead in Game 6 and you had a lead in Game 7.
Harden has a lot of Tony Romo to him. A lot of great moments in the regular season and moments you're just in awe. But when it came to it, when someone had to make a play, it was never made.
This is, again, I'm going to go back to
piano
why I support Tillman in this situation. Because Tillman is a no-nonsense guy, and he's not going to deal with this bullshit. And, say what you want about the players of old, and it was like, players of old, all they cared about money. They don't care about is winning. All they care about is money. Yeah, well, they also had loyalty, So the NBA player of today is so catered to and pampered, and it all started with the LeBron Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Heedle's team, like, I want to go play with my friends and I want to team up and I want to make money and win titles, right? And it just has grown into this thing where now the superstar says to themselves, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I know I signed a contract. I want to go do something else, right? And Tillman's not the guy you're going to tell you want to do something else. He's like, no, dude, you're under contract, right? Yeah. So if this was the Daryl Morey, Leslie Alexander Rockets, I think James would have been traded already. He would have come in, he would have demanded this trade, and they would have moved him. But I think that Tillman's not putting up with this shit. And he's like, no, I signed you to a contract. You're going to live out that contract. I'm still going to do my best. And this is where I understand the Tillman slander because he's such a cheap bastard. But he's like, I'm going to try and build around you. But, dude, you're the guy for 3 years, so you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And, again, if James was going to be traded, I think he would have been traded by now.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind, too, who these guys have been pandering to this whole time. They're no longer with the team.
They're not.
Right.
They're really not.
Morey left, he said that he wanted to spend more time with his family after being in the bubble.
Yeah, that lasted a month.
I don't even
got a month out
maybe
with
10
him.
days before
Yeah.
Philly came back.
So that to me said a lot, right?
Yeah.
He makes an excuse to get out. He's picked up in 10 days. You got an awkward-ass video of Mark Berman silently following him to his car.
Leaving the Landry's offices.
With the cell phone
flashing his license
camera.
plate all over the place.
Yeah.
There's Daryl Morey's plate.
Getting in his Mercedes-Benz. Here's the license plate.
Look, Bill Belichick doesn't get fired in New England because Bill Belichick wins, right? Mike Tomlin doesn't get fired in Pittsburgh because Mike Tomlin wins. Steve Kerr doesn't get fired because they win, right?
So when the news breaks, Collin, Westbrook wants out, and then 48 hours, the rumors of Harden's camp is leaking stuff out. What's your initial reaction to what you're seeing across the Twitter sphere or Facebook, whenever you get in those universe, like the notifications?
So I think when Russell Westbrook landed on the Rockets, I don't think I knew one person that liked him. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Besides the Russell people, yeah.
Exactly. So he cut.
The Russ fans are going to be in the comments.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Please don't dox me. So he shows up here. They're running this fucking weird ass offense. No center, right?
Yeah.
This takes them a little while to pick up steam. They finally
built
get it
to unleash Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they finally get around to making it work, but that kind of play style isn't built to win a championship, unfortunately.
Now, see, this is where I'll argue with you, is because that play style showed flashes that were working, and I think that if you refine that play style and if you added someone that could actually shoot and consistently make threes at a high level clip, a 40% three-point shooter, I think that style could work. But Russell got hurt.
I kind of disagree, though, because it's almost like the Wildcat being introduced in the NFL. It's a new thing, and once you have film on it, you can start game planning. And that's kind of what we saw right before COVID shut everything down. The Rockets went, on a 6-7 game losing streak, losing bad to really bad teams, and we're just like, where's the team that we just saw 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
But again, were the Charlotte Bobcats, or the Charlotte Hornets now, I'm sorry, were they game planning the Rockets? It's a new system. You got to learn things, right? I definitely understand your take, but I think in basketball, especially, players and the way they can create, their ability to make things happen is going to overcome certain game plans.
That's fair.
Like, I've seen 15, 20, 30 different game plans thrown at James Harden. He still averages 35 points a game, right?
Yeah. He's a unicorn.
Yeah.
So,
Could
then
it
the Harden
work?
news.
Maybe. Did
the
it
Harden
work?
news
No.
breaks. Thoughts? What are you thinking when the Harden camp starts leaking things out, when we're starting to see, we see rumors, we see sources from all these accounts, but then we see Woj and Shams kind of, hey, let's temper expectations, but then more and more and more, we're here on draft night, and we're still kind of in limbo.
Yeah. So, the first thought is, of course, panic. Right? Who's going to be the superstar on this team if he goes?
Gotta have one.
Right?
Gotta
Didn't they offer him $50 million a season and he turned it down?
Yeah.
That would have been the most per season of any player in the NBA, correct?
Mm-hmm. There's a problem when you're turning down $100 million.
Turned it down.
That's when I started.
No state tax.
Bro, he turned it down.
Wow.
So here's the next thing. The Nets. That's where everyone says he probably wants to go, right? Did they unask that kind of money for him?
No.
You don't think so?
I think he takes a very team-friendly contract.
So
Well, he's on a contract now.
And
He'll
he'll
just go
he'll-
out there and play his contract out.
it'll be a new super team. I mean, they'll have what, 4 All-Stars?
Yeah, I
On
mean,
board?
they have all
I
the
guess you
pieces.
still
It
count
depends who
DeAndre
gets traded.
Jordan. You know?
Depends who gets traded back and that.
Wait, was Karis LeVert an All-Star? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So anyway, myself, I'm not a huge basketball fan. So to me, when I hear the only name that's been consistent on the Rockets for the last 7 or 8 years is leaving, to me that sucks. I mean, everyone loves the guy in Houston.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, he's built his brand. He's, for better or worse, during playoffs, he's been the guy in Houston. He's a elite scorer.
Yeah.
Hate him or love him, he is one of the top players in the
He's
league.
been the face of the Rockets for 8 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's
And
been
we-
in the running for MVP damn near
won.
every year.
And he
3
was the
years in a row.
bridge. Originally, people thought he'd just be the bridge to the next superstar after the Yao and the T-Mac years. You
Right.
know, we just kind of
Stevie
came off that
franchise.
Steph franchise. But
No
I
one
mean,
knew
he
when
came-
we got James
Exactly.
Harden that this is what he was going to be.
And he evolved into a superstar. We
Right.
saw it in front of our eyes. It was great to see. Will I be happy if he wins a ring somewhere else? I love the guy. I mean, do I think he can do it by himself? No, because he couldn't do it here in his prime. And so it's slippery slopes.
With James Harden now, especially, I've gotten to such a love-hate relationship with the guy because everything you said is true. And there's no one who's been shit on more the entire time he's been a fantastic success than James Harden. There's no one that's been, dismissed more for
Accolades.
just like false reasons, Oh, he's only successful because he draws fouls. He's only successful because he flops. He's only successful because he cheats. He never passes the ball. He chokes in the playoffs. Like a bunch of things that just aren't true.
Yeah.
And they just say it about James Harden. But then there's the things that are true. He hasn't made it all the way. He's asked us for Dwight Howard. We got Dwight Howard. He ran him out of town. He asked us to get Chris Paul. We got Chris Paul. He ran him out of town.
He asked
us to go get Russell
Westbrook.
Westbrook. We got Russell Westbrook. Now Russell Westbrook saying he wants to go somewhere where he can be alpha dog. He can't play in this style. And again, like I was saying about Belichick and Tomlin and those people that stay, it's because they win, but it's also because they get people to buy into what they're selling.
I think
right?
so, and they can manage egos.
And
Nick,
how long-
Nick Saban at Alabama,
Right.
He has 45 5-star recruits every year.
Right.
How does he keep them there, and how does he win with them? Because
How
he knows
is-
how to manage egos, and he can coach, and he has a product that wins.
Well, they want to come to him.
Exactly.
That's why. So he gets the best ones.
Right.
College recruiting is the biggest sham of all time.
Yeah,
in my
here's the
opinion.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
there's
another
a
day.
thing there for those coaches. I don't think they're loved. I don't think those guys are. Hey, great job! You're tapping on the butt.
No, you know what they are?
hey,
They're
They're
respected.
feared and
They're-
respect. Yeah,
They're
and
respected.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are absolutely assholes.
No.
But you know what? The players respect them, and that's what Belichick, Tomlin. Think
Yeah,
about
the flip
it.
side of it, you look at Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is an extremely player-friendly coach.
Yeah,
You know?
he would be an anomaly over
But
there.
he's respected.
Yep.
When he says something, it gets done because he's proven that his way works.
Yep.
And to get back to Daryl and Mike, they did great here, and I appreciate everything. I was so pissed off when Mike D'Antoni got hired. I was like, why the fuck are we hiring Mike D'Antoni? This
What is this, 2007?
No, like our thing was offense then. We needed defense, and we go out and hire Mike D'Antoni. I'm like, this is the complete opposite of what we need. And all he did was just gave me some of the most exciting seasons I've seen.
Yeah.
The year that Russell won the MVP that James was supposed to, people forget that year. He was 29 and 11 and a half. He led the
Yeah.
league in assists that year. It was just fantastic.
So you got to consider too, Silas. He's an offensive guy.
I think it was a sharp hire.
So the Mavericks were second in threes last season behind.
We got breaking
Oh,
news.
we're gonna break
We
it.
got a breaking news.
Charlotte.
No, no,
Bum,
Charlotte.
Charlotte
Michael
drafted the other
Jordan.
ball.
Michael Jordan said he was going to go get him. I'm really
the,
surprised.
the star power of LaMelo Ball, dude.
Yeah,
He could have had Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, coulda.
But
Unbelievable,
touching
Michael.
on Salas,
So he's the Mavericks were second in shooting threes and 3% last year, behind the Rockets only. So he's
same
going to come
philosophy.
here and keep the same
We're gonna
shit
run a
rolling.
very similar offense.
Yeah, I think that shit. I don't know. I don't know a lot
The
about moving
offense
pieces around in basketball. I'm just saying
we don't have to get lost in the weeds.
they scored a lot. I know that. That's fun to watch. for
And
me.
we've seen things leak out from the Westbrook camp and the Harden camp that they've liked the head coach hire. I think the disconnect was with the GM hire, and maybe because they didn't want to get one of their guys.
No, anything,
but it's
it's
Tillman's guy,
right.
So I think that's where the disconnect is. It's Tillman's guy, Tillman's GM. They like the head coach hire, so the GM hire is not their guy. So we're seeing a disconnect there for sure.
Here's what I'm thinking, or what I'm seeing is, the word fake news came around in 2016, but anyone that follows sports news knows that everything you hear in sports is fake news until it's reported by Woj, right?
Right.
So anything coming out of
Woj
coming out of the Harden and Westbrook camp, I'm not buying at all. Like earlier, they were like, Harden wants out because Tillman's a Trump supporter. It's like, dude, I highly doubt James Harden gives a fuck about who anyone supports in any political matter at all. The dude plays basketball and goes to the titty bar. Like, he doesn't give a shit about that.
No.
Right? So what I think led to Russell and James saying they wanted out, they wanted to be moved, is we've got a new head coach. We've got a new GM. The guys around us aren't getting any younger. We don't have a lot of picks. I don't want to be here for a rebuild, right? So fair. I'd rather get out in front of the rebuild, get me out now. And even then, I don't think that they're opposed to running it back. I think it's like, hey, let's put it out there and let's see some feelers, Let's see if someone will bring us in.
And we can segue on your
rebuild
comment because the Texans are in that conversation. And we had J.J. Watt who came out in the press conferences. I do not want to be part of a rebuild. Yeah. And so...
Well, lucky for you, JJ, we don't have any picks, so you won't be.
So as not a fan of the team, but a fan of football, I think the Texans are going to move away from JJ. I think JJ is going to be cut in the offseason.
Who are you a fan of?
And it's redacted.
Yeah.
Just a fan of the sport.
Yeah.
But I think...
Not a fan of a team with like a bunch of talent on it that's not going anywhere either.
Yeah, just... endless, hopeless heartbreak of all time, just for 20 years of my life. No, but you have JJ saying he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. You have the Texans and their drama in themselves. So we go right up 59 or right down 59, and we have the Texans. You have Bob finally out. You have Easterby running the entire Seven Kingdoms.
He's a fucking creep too. What is with that guy?
He's very ugly.
Oh.
Well, not only is he not fun to look at. So this dude is he's a pastor, author. What was he doing for the Patriots? He was some kind of cultural fucking guru
and
weirdo.
We saw it this week.
I don't like this.
They asked
these stupid old men that run the Texans. They're buying into this shit.
They bought it.
It's opinion of Collin,
dude. It is.
It's a cult, and he's the cult leader.
Bobby, this is some deep state bullshit.
Deep state. Edit the last name out.
Oh,
but
no government name.
We saw it this week when they asked Belichick about the Texans, and
he's
they asked
a personnel guy.
They asked him about Easter, and he's like, "Yeah, he's a great guy." Blah blah blah. And they asked him about personnel. He's like, "Nope, not a personnel guy."
Yeah,
and he's running all the personnel calls. And so in the last month, we've seen Bob finally out after he's burnt everything down. Easterby's regime reign, and not really good football.
That is
no.
Embarrassing
franchising. They won the first game after Bill O'Brien left.
And you would put everyone put the mortgage on the Texans winning that.
That was a Super Bowl.
Everyone knew that was going to happen.
That was a Super Bowl for us.
Jags.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, a win's a win.
Hey,
a win
is a win. We were both 1-6, and goddamn it, we're the better team.
And then we were 2-6.
And then we were 2-6, and they were 1-7. Hey, that's a division win.
I think we were 0-4.
That's a division win. 0-4. That's right. Well, then we played him again when we were 1-6.
We were 2-6 or 1-6 when we played him again.
Yes. Yeah. So Bill O'Brien was out, right? Why did he leave? No one liked him. He didn't have anybody's respect.
No one's.
You saw the way that your star player who is normally very outspoken with the press after every game, win or loss, JJ. He's giving one-word answers to the reporters. You can see he
looked like a broken man.
You can see his frustration.
Yeah.
I mean, like you never seen him. He's a broken man.
Bill O'Brien was the exact opposite of Mike D'Antoni, where Mike D'Antoni came in, he succeeded. They tinkered with shit. They always tried to make things a little better, but they could never quite get there. And it got to the point where Mike D'Antoni, it was just time for a new face,
I don't think D'Antoni never tried to be the smartest guy in the room. And with Bill O'Brien, it felt like any room he went into, he tried to be the smartest guy in the room.
No, he was a tyrant.
And then he would murder anyone that was smarter than him. And when the police took him away, he'd be like, "See, I was the smartest guy in the room."
Right.
Yeah. Well, the problem was that he was wielding too much power, being the coach and the GM.
Yes.
Everything about the Texans that was said, and the joke that they are, is Bill O'Brien kept falling up. Like, as he would make
Falling
a decision,
upwards. Yeah.
as he would make a decision that was awful, he was given more power to make an even worse decision.
That's a
which
great-
led to more power to make an even worse decision, and then it all culminated with where we're at now, which is you have Deshaun Watson, you have Laramie Tunsil, and that's it. Everyone else on this team, even J.J. Watt, whom I love to death, is kind of trash. You have no draft picks to replenish the closet. Like, you don't have any cap room. This is a disaster.
That's the worst part.
It's awful.
Football, I think, more than any sport, relies on draft picks, in my opinion.
100%.
So when you give away your best player for a fucking sleeve of crackers or whatever fucking trade Bill O'Brien made for DeAndre Hopkins, that was the worst trade in NFL history.
Yes.
It wasn't the worst in NFL.
It was pretty
It's
fucking
pretty-
close.
it
If it's
was-
not,
pretty up there.
It wasn't the best.
here's
for
the
sure.
thing,
It's
dude.
really bad.
Is he the top performing receiver in the NFL right now, or not?
I mean, we can cue in
He's
the Hail Mary
DeAndre
cats right
Hopkins.
now.
He's the top 3 receiver in football, just like he always is.
QB, the best
He
QB in
always
the league,
is. The
or is he just the
problem
best?
with the Bill O'Brien stuff again is that I don't think Bill O'Brien necessarily made moves that I didn't understand why he made. He just never understood how to get value for anything.
But also, I don't think he had an ownership to check him.
No, they gave him free reign to do whatever.
McNair's, and we're seeing it now with Easterby. Where's Cal McNair?
Stephon Diggs.
He's up in the castle.
He was
hiding
getting
away.
cut by
He's-
Bill O'Brien.
Cal's overwhelmed. He can't handle the situation.
No, dude.
That's why he doesn't
He
talk
needs
to
to
the
sell the
press.
team.
Like he just doesn't have the oomph for it. You know?
I mean, you have to have an owner to check a GM in the situation of, hey, what the fuck?
Hey,
are
say
you
what
doing?
you want about Tillman Fertitta. He most certainly would have traded DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
He would have fired Bill just for bringing the fucking subject up, you
Yeah.
know? And there's like exactly what you're saying. They need someone to check him, and they didn't have someone to check him.
No.
And they didn't fire the cook until he burned the whole fucking kitchen to the ground. You
And he
know?
almost didn't.
And
get
there-
fired.
and there's-
He still almost
if
didn't
there
get fired.
wasn't almost a player revolt led by J.J. Watt,
Yeah.
the most personable human being in Houston sports franchise history, and he almost leads a revolt, a mutiny with the players. That's what it took.
And they're still firing people.
It's-
They fired PR Amy.
Yeah, Miss Amy.
That's-
Everyone loved her.
That's
Not a
it just-
cultural fit anymore with Easterby's fucking male.
The Texans have become-
whatever he's doing.
When I saw that come
Brainwashed.
across the ticker and it said not a cultural fit, I was like, did Crane's people get into the PR? Did the Astros and Texans have the same PR team? Because that
What
language
does that mean?
was terrible.
It's
and
not
then
good.
we saw a
Not
full
good.
frontal assault on 790 and 97.5 of all these Houston Texans front office people trying to get on and save face. And I was like, this is kind of the worst PR I've seen since the Asuna thing.
or the Taubman thing.
Yeah, the Asuna Tom
So
thing, yeah.
Houston sports with incidents with women on staff and press was terrible this year. Absolutely awful.
It's literally like Michael Scott was running running the PR companies. It's like, how can it get any worse than what it is? And it continues to get worse.
the thing
Yeah.
with the Texans is that can you name a PR person for any team in football besides the Houston Texans? Can you name a PR person?
No, I
for
But that's
the
their
Rockets?
job. That's their job to stay out of sight. Out of
The
mind.
Texans became such a joke and such a dumpster fire, and everything they did was so stupid that their PR person got famous for getting fired.
Yeah.
Like they fire someone and you just assume that it's a really fucking stupid thing to do, and now you laugh at the Texans again, right? And they've gotten to that point because they take peak talent, good talent, and they just waste it time and time and time again. From Andre Johnson,
David Carr.
to Arian Foster, to David Carr,
Even your boy
J.J.
Matt Shaw.
Watt, DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to do it to Deshaun Watson, and it's just It's mediocrity. And say what you want about the Rockets, they field a competitive team.
Yeah.
I don't think James is going to get traded. I don't think Russell's going to get traded until maybe end of the season. And they're going to put a team out there that probably won't, but can compete for a title. They're going to be a 4 seed. They're going to be a 3 seed. They're going to win games. Are the Texans going to the playoffs next year?
I mean,
are they going to win 5 games next year?
I don't know.
Are they going to win 5 games
when
the
you
year
have,
after that?
When you have a Deshaun Watson, you can win at any time. You have a chance of winning because
right.
he's
I said that
talented.
too. And then
Anytime
he beat
he's
the
on
Jags
field,
twice this year and nobody else.
Yeah, but he gives you a chance when every time he steps on the field.
How many times do they lose by one score or fewer?
I love Deshaun
Last
Watson.
year it was a lot of times.
Last year was a lot.
I haven't been paying close attention.
But Deshaun Watson, it's almost like a scene from The Longest Yard. Look at the team you're fielding around him. It's not great. And so...
No, I'm done with that because the coaching hasn't put him in a good position, correct. And David Johnson should never touch the ball. The David Johnson as a running back is like a 12-foot jump shot in basketball. It's not necessary anymore. It's
but it's
archaic.
a 12-foot shot from
You don't
Shaq.
need it. Yeah, right. You don't need it.
It's not great.
Right?
You know?
Shoot threes, throw home runs. You got this team for speed to take shots down the field and just throw home runs, dude. You got Deshaun Watson, one of the most accurate deep ball passers in football. You got all this speed. Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb. You got all this speed, and you're handing the ball to fucking David Johnson.
But you
First and second down.
19 times a game.
But
what are you doing? And people wonder why your offense can't score points.
You see this excuse every week. And it's the same if it's Bill O'Brien or if it's Cornell, like the same excuses. We haven't had time to implement our offense due to COVID.
Neither is anyone else.
Everything is always goes back to not having a full training camp and not running their offense because of COVID. But there's 31 other teams that have the same exact problem. And you're trying to fit
Ben
a
Roethlisberger
round piece of wood through a square hole, and it doesn't work.
Ben Roethlisberger had no offseason, no training, and he missed all of last year, and his team's 8-0.
Yeah.
You know?
He's also a Super Bowl
I think there's a
champion.
huge problem in Houston from front offices, and then this may get Apollo canceled, but I don't even care right now.
Oh, send it out there.
But they tried to...
Doesn't care about his own company. You heard it.
But they tried to make the Houston fan almost seem like we're stupid. Like, we see through the BS. We see through the smoke that you're trying to sell us.
Allow me to help you get Apollo canceled.
Oh,
the Houston fan...
You can tune in for the
Houston
hour
fan
for that.
Is stupid. The Houston fan does not hold these teams accountable.
They don't hold them accountable, but they're not dumb in sports knowledge. They
sure they are. The Texans have sold out every year of their existence.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
Of course they are. 100%.
They're so satisfied with mediocrity because they sell that stadium out. They sell 1 billion beers every week.
We're happy to be here. The guys played hard.
60,000 people tailgating outside of that place. More.
We're going to cheer our boys no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I guess you know, on Apollo, we're the minority and we see through the bullshit.
I'm guilty
100%.
of it too, man.
Look, as I've gotten older, I'm sorry to cut you off, Collin. It's just my take is much better than yours. As I've gotten older, I made a tweet the other day, and I was like, Houston sports are falling apart. Call your team now, right? And there's the people that go
really jump ship really quickly on that.
It's just fun, engagement, right? But there's the people that come in there.
Band of Brothers written sometime.
I knew they were going to be there. I'd stick with my team, ride or die. I'm Houston born and raised. Astros, Rockets, Texans. You don't jump ship when shit's bad. I'm like, look, bud. Let's say Dez owns this company, and Josh owns this company, and this company gets big time, and they give it to their kids. And while I'm sure this isn't going to happen. Let's say your kids are dipshits, right? And your kids are
probably going to happen.
Your kids are total dipshits, and they really take this company to shit, and it's fucked. Everything about this company sucks now. But I've been with the company, so I got to be loyal to my company, right? No. This is all a business, people, and the business that the Rockets and the Astros and the Texans and MLB and NBA and NFL sell you is entertainment. And if you're not entertained, then don't fucking support the business. Because continuing to support a business that doesn't entertain you is going to embolden the business to just keep not entertaining you because they're making their money, right?
That's what happened when the Astros were going through their rebuild, dude. I would go to their games. No shit. Everyone probably did the same thing. I was 17, 18 years old. I roll up there with a Powerade wrapper, and I get a ticket for $2 on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
$2 Tuesdays. and I'd go
Dollar hot
sit
dog.
my happy ass up in the mezzanine for a couple innings, and then I go sit right behind the dugout because no one was there.
Yeah, you and 7 other people.
Right? And so what do they say? This is a problem.
Right.
There's 10,000 people at each game, not 38,000 or however many people.
We need to
fit
start
in
fielding
minute.
a competitive team.
Exactly. And then they fucking did.
Right.
Of course, they also had the best farm system back then. Now, the Astros have one of the worst farm systems. I think they're 28 out of 30.
Well,
We'll touch on that. I don't think it's as bad as what they're saying, but we'll touch on that a little bit. But you, Collin, spoke on something earlier about the worst trades of all time.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, recency bias, the DeAndre Hopkins trades. So, I want to talk about the worst trades in Houston history.
That was
It's so
huge.
bad.
And so, recency bias aside, I feel like the DeAndre Hopkins trade is up there.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the value.
You
Stephon
don't.
Diggs went for a 1 and a 3.
Yeah.
You traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and a 2.
Due to your coach's ego. And I think if you...
Or lack of knowledge.
Yeah, lack of knowledge, his ego, whatever it is, you traded DeAndre Hopkins,
Look,
top 3 receiver for
I know
a
that
bag of peanuts.
the Bill O'Brien ego thing and the baby mamas thing, which is probably all bullshit. You can sell me on we need to trade DeAndre Hopkins because we have to pay Laramie Tunsil and we have to pay Deshaun, and even though he's not worth the contract anymore, we already paid JJ. Like, we're running out of money. We're not going to be able to afford DeAndre. You can sell me on we need to trade him. You can't sell me on we need to trade DeAndre with 2 years left on his contract, and we have to trade DeAndre for David fucking Johnson, right?
And not 2016
You can't
breakout
sell me
David
on
Johnson.
that.
Yeah.
You
But
can
still
sell
handing
me
the ball
on-
20 times every day.
Yeah.
You can sell me on we traded DeAndre Hopkins to Green Bay for 2 first-round picks. Okay, you put him on the other side
You
with
got some
Devontae
value.
Adams.
You look at an asset and you have some value.
Right. You put him on another side with Devontae Adams. You got Green Bay up there with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's getting long in his career, but they can make something
Still
happen.
a
there.
fucking stud.
Still a gangster, right? You can
Yeah.
sell me on that.
Yeah.
So that's what really makes the DeAndre thing so bad. It's just you sold a Ferrari for $30.
Yeah.
You know,
You actually
God, it's
gave
so
a
bad.
Ferrari away and got back an Accord.
yeah, you sold a Ferrari for $30, and then the check bounced, and the guy's gone with your Ferrari.
Yes. Exactly. So you had some others in mind, I guess.
I
Des,
did. I
bringing
have
this up.
a few written down. The one that comes to mind is the Brett Phillips, All-Star Josh Hader, Domingo Santana, and Hauser for rat fuck Mike Fiers and Carlos Gomez. That's up there on my list.
Yeah.
Then the Astros.
and didn't know it at the time, but those would become 2 of the most hated Astros
of all time.
ever.
Of all time.
Carlos Gomez just because he was a fucking clown.
If you
And
put
we
that,
all know about Mike Fiers.
if you put that trade in context, Mike Fiers was kind of a throw-in in that trade, and Carlos Gomez
was the centerpiece.
and he was supposed to bring a team that was, on the cusp and put it over the top. That was your I'm going all in move,
Yes.
right?
100%.
And then obviously Domingo became what he became. Josh Hader became what he
All-star.
became.
Brett Phillips was a World Series hero for a
Right.
short second.
Right. So that one I can understand. Okay, we're going for it. We don't. You never know with prospects, right? What do they say? Prospects are cool. Parades are cooler.
Yeah.
Right. No one knew Carlos Gomez was going to come here and be awful. Like even if he was just okay, Carlos Gomez.
he had some
would-
problems.
Some home
Problematic.
runs.
Yeah.
He
I love
bat flips.
I love the Carlos Gomez hustle double where he would just like knock his helmet off to make it seem like he was running faster
Right.
and cooler.
No,
I
he's a
hated that.
fucking
Absolutely
dork.
Fucking hated that.
They used to
Pimp
show
to
this.
fly out,
yeah.
Pimp and
Dude.
fly outs.
They used to show this segment where they would cut to commercials and they would ask Astros questions. And one of the questions was, "Who's the loudest guy in the clubhouse?" And then it would cut to Carlos Gomez going, "Did they say it was me?" Like, duh, motherfucker. They said it was you. You
Yeah.
act like you're 12 fucking years old.
And I think
On
that's
and off
what
the diamond.
really rubbed people the wrong way because it was so forced. It wasn't like Louis Valbumba. Like he would fucking pimp 200-foot fly balls to mid center
yeah.
field, but he did it because he fucking loved the game and it was organic and it looked so cool.
Right.
Rest in peace to that king. But Carlos Gomez would fucking bat flip into the mezzanine section where there was a ground ball and a
He was a
shortstop.
tryhard.
And he just did it because he was
He was a tryhard.
He was a tryhard.
Yeah, he was a tryhard.
Yeah.
When you see him swinging and balling on his knees and his helmet flies off and it's a pitch that was 8 inches off his bat.
He's like
it
Juan
was-
Soto, but he sucks.
Yeah. And
But to put that
not
trade in
21.
perspective, I understood that. I was excited at the time. when we
Yeah, I
made
mean, we
that
didn't know
trade.
Josh Hader would be a perennial all-star.
I didn't know Carlos Gomez was going to be trash.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know someone would dig up Hader's old
Yeah,
tweets either,
that's
but here we
probably-
are.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. So,
Other trades, the Kurt Schilling trade for Jason Grimsley. Kurt Schilling obviously went on to be who Kurt Schilling
Pretty
is.
good.
Bloody Sock, pretty good World Series
Pretty good.
all-star.
Let's just say
Went
he's
crazy.
on the ballot
Went
and
crazy.
he's getting
Went
in
crazy.
this year.
he's never
I-
getting in.
Schilling?
I don't think he's
we
ever
could touch on
getting
that a
in.
little bit later. We could. I think it's pretty split. I think it'll be close. The
This
Joe
is ninth try.
the Joe Morgan trade. He was a catalyst to the Big Red Machine and
Yeah.
all their
Yeah.
World Series.
Whoops.
And then I have
Never a good look to trade a Hall of Famer.
the Rockets traded Moses Malone. He won MVP, and then we traded him, and then he went to win another MVP in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So not great when you're trading a MVP
No.
for, and then he goes has another MVP year.
We might have a history might be repeating itself this year.
With-
Not quite MVP.
With
but you know what I
James?
mean.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, and then I have number one Hopkins trade. I just think it's
yeah,
one
well,
of the worst.
out of all
trades.
those, it's definitely the worst
Yeah,
one.
those are just some highlighted ones. There's,
100%
I'm
the
sure
worst
the
ones.
people in the comment sections will have their trades
You won't.
that they think is worse than that.
I'm trying to go. I'm like running through my last 20 years of sports history in my head, and I'm like, which one was worse than the Hopkins one? I'm like, I know it's there, but I just don't know what it is.
You know what trade I love, and I don't even know if it's a trade right now. Did we trade for Artest or did we sign Artest?
I believe we signed.
We signed him because I remember
I
that.
still love
me.
Lonnie Artest.
Are you referring to Meta World Peace?
Meta World
That's Meta
Peace.
World
Okay.
Peace. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do we have that in the
Peace.
notes?
No.
I was about to say if you had that, but that year
Yeah, I do,
when we
actually,
took the
in
Lakers
the
to 7 with him and Brooks, I mean it was one of the. I mean Kobe ended up putting us away, but that was like the most fun I had with the Rockets.
I would say the second worst trade right now in recent Rockets or recent sports history would be Westbrook. I
That's
hate that
pretty bad.
Westbrook trade.
It's pretty
I
bad.
can't stand that Westbrook.
Dude, they unasked.
Especially when you watch Chris go to Oklahoma City and just continue to be Chris
not
Paul
great.
and continue to
Almost
elevate
beats us.
subpar talent. Or almost
We were
beats
here.
us.
Me and Collin were here in this house watching the game. And we were like, "What the fuck did we do? Why did we trade Chris Paul?"
Yeah.
And we knew it. I think all of Houston knew it. It was like Chris Paul is so petty. He's gonna lead them
Oh, yeah.
to a win
Yeah.
here and force a game 7 and figure it out.
Well, and some
he
some
almost
people
did.
are built for it. That comment that he
Oh,
made in the press conference,
And then we had James Harden's defining moment.
over the top.
He's back. He's got his bugaboos, the playoff bugaboo. He's got his block because everyone thinks of James
And then he
Harden.
went out there and casually won game 1 against the Lakers.
Yeah. And because everyone thinks James Harden
That's
the
when the
Ginobili
fun was
block.
done.
We finally got his block, and here we
Man, Lou Dort was so annoying.
are. The dude was a
I
dude
hate
was a
that guy.
linebacker.
I hate that guy.
absolute linebacker.
Arizona State alum, we do not claim you, Lou Dort. How dare you?
I do have one little note we can touch on. This is your guy.
Oh, my boy.
MVPJ is
Yeah.
going to get the start most likely. This
No, we
week.
don't know that. We
Most
don't
likely.
know that. So they're saying that Teddy is going to have limited practice on Wednesday, but he still does have
That's
some
today.
swelling, still has some pain. I have dabbled in Panthers Twitter here recently.
Oh,
which
wow.
Didn't know it was a thing. Yeah, not shocked,
Shout out
but it's
Carolina
a thing.
Panthers.
And let me tell you, Panthers Twitter, they're ready for PJ too. These people, they've seen enough of Teddy.
Teddy
They know what
Bridgewater
Teddy
sucks.
is. Teddy Bridgewater is a great
He's a
backup
game
quarterback.
manager.
He's
He
a
sucks.
great backup quarterback. Yeah.
MVPJ needs a shot.
Now,
Could this be a moment? Could
PJ,
this be a
it
moment where
100% could.
he gets it and Wally
Well,
pips him and it's MVPJ for the
if
next
he
decade?
does,
Or it
if
could
he
be
does get to start,
Case Keenum moment.
if he does get
Maybe.
to start, he's playing against the Lions. The Lions will give you some points. The Lions will give away games. He's got Robbie Anderson. He's got DJ Moore. He's got Curtis Samuel.
He's got Mike Davis.
He's got Mike Davis. He's got a squad around him. He's got talent. And if you let PJ, he can
Points.
do some things that'll make people.
Points.
He'll
Points.
make people forget Teddy Bridgewater real fast.
Bro, let me
I'm
just tell
hoping
you.
he gets started.
Those fucking Roughnecks games were the most fun I think I've ever had in my
Coming
entire
back,
life.
then 2022.
All right. Those games were electric. It might have been because we were sitting in the front row watching MVPJ
Watching
thread
PJ
the needle.
Walker.
Huh?
watching PJ Walker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Walking down the field over and over. Didn't make it, no problem. Castillo's kicking a 60-yard field goal.
Hey, who's having a good NFL career?
That's true. That's true.
We're not talking about that enough.
New York Jet, Castellanos, boy, dude. Castillo. Sergio Castillo.
Did he get picked up by the Jets?
Yeah, he's been kicking for the Jets.
He's been kicking, and that little,
And they suck, so he's probably been getting a lot of action.
ton of
He's
points.
been working.
That little video of him shotgunning the beer as he's like
The
he
seltzer?
fakes the little
The
seltzer.
Bud Light seltzer?
I mean,
Yeah.
the Jets and New York media is loving that.
Dude, I love that. I didn't know he got picked up.
Yeah.
I still don't
so
know
the
how.
so the Roughnecks, if they have even a similar squad,
It'd be
it's
a lot of
probably
fun.
not going to
Not
be
gonna
as
happen,
much
yeah.
fun.
But we're gonna make it fun. We'll
Oh,
make
dude,
it fun.
those Roughnecks games were the best.
It was fantastic. That's the one thing Corona took away from me that I'll never forgive it for. You know, it really is, dude. Like Corona
Yeah.
putting me up in my house to hang out with my wife and watch TV and play video games. Like, fine, whatever, that's cool with me. You know,
Yeah.
Corona like, hey, you can't go out to the bar and spend money. I'm like, dope, dude. I'll hang out. You know, Corona saying you can't go watch the Roughnecks anymore. I'll never forgive it. Dude. I'll never forgive it.
And the best thing was seeing
If I see Corona in the streets, dude, it's hands on sight.
both of y'all, the first row on TV,
Yeah.
just balling out,
Oh,
just
yeah.
on camera. It was a great sight to see, and I was really jealous I never got to make it out. But to see y'all,
Des, if you
repping
don't
the
mind, I'm
brand-
going to flex a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
just
ahead.
a little flex. Front row doesn't mean a lot of things, right? Front row means a lot of the basketball game, not so much in an NFL game. You know, what I mean, you're still so fucking far away. College football game, kind of the same things. Front row at the Roughnecks game meant something. Like Collin's saying, there's already so much energy, but when you're right
Dude,
there,
They can hear you.
oh, the players would chant with us.
Yeah.
You know, they'd get in there with us. It was.
Yeah, we saw Patty Smith down there, former
I'll
Astros.
never fucking forgive Corona for that.
Yeah,
Because we are going to get the Roughnecks back, and the XFL was the vibe. So, because
It
you
was
know
a pretty cool vibe.
what we felt at those games, they were feeling in New York, they were feeling in
LA.
St. Louis, not
Seattle.
LA. LA doesn't feel shit. You know, they don't give
yeah,
a shit.
they showed up
Fuck
in the
LA.
third quarter.
So, sorry,
Yeah, won
but
a
like
fake World Series.
if you saw St. Louis
Whoops.
because they lost their NFL team, the St. Louis tailgates before XFL was wild. So,
Oh, dude, they were great.
It's
And
gonna
I
be
think
wonderful when it
we've
gets
touched
back.
on it before. Football is king in Texas.
yes.
And so when you have this new product that no one has no idea what's going to be about, I think Texas, other than other states, are going to be, fuck yeah, it's more
100%
football.
all in.
It's more
Dude,
football.
and-
and we saw it.
Yeah.
And the people who went there, just like you said, it's just people that love football.
It's people that love sports. There were only sports nuts in there. Who
No.
else is going to a B squad football game other than sports nuts? Right?
It's the same crowd you see at a Skeeters game. You know,
Dude, it was
people
tight.
that go to the Skeeters game love
Speaking
baseball.
of-
Speaking of Skeeters,
Did you like that
I
segue?
love that
Did
little
you like
segue.
that segue?
Skeeters are now the AAA affiliate of the Houston Astros. That means we are right down the road from seeing the future Stros, the Stros getting rehab stints, and some guys just trying to make it to the squad.
Yeah,
It's going to be right there.
it's going to be cool.
And I think it's going to be great for Sugar Land. It's going to be great for the city and for us at Apollo. That we can go down and see the guys. And I think we've built enough relationship and rapport with a lot of the guys that are fringe Major League Baseball players and AAA players that we're going to have a really good content coming out from there. And it's going to be really exciting to see. They have to kind of upkeep the facilities a little bit
Right.
to get that on par. But I think it's going to be really fun to see that kind of grow.
Well, I'll tell anyone that's watching this, what Colin and I were just saying about the XFL is the exact same thing with minor league baseball. It's just a whole different vibe, a whole different energy. There's no such thing as a bad seat. Every seat is good, and
Yeah.
every seat is cheap. They're always doing some kind of crazy, awesome promotion, whether it be, dollar beer night, college night, Star Wars night, this night, that night. They have so much stuff going on. Like you said, you get to see the future, the people who are going to be up there. If you have any chance to go check out a minor league game, you have to do it.
So what's really cool
And
about it,
Constellation Field's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful field.
100%.
what's cool about it is they're the AAA affiliate of a team that their ballparks are 22 miles apart.
Right.
Yeah.
There's only one other team like that, and it's the Braves. There's a AAA affiliate that's right in Gwinnett.
Yeah.
Is that
Right
true?
up. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So-
You're a geography guy.
So there's
at
there's
that.
only
Can we get the
one
map?
other
Can we
team.
get the map?
Map it out.
Map feature
Map
on
it
the
out.
video?
Everyone loves Georgia right now. So there's that to look forward to. I mean, it's going to be a ton of diehard Astros fans
Oh, yeah.
up in those games.
We can get a little raucous there. We can get a little rowdy.
Dude, we're gonna carve out an Apollo section in that bitch if there's season tickets.
I kind of want to get like in left field and just fucking pepper that left fielder. Make him want to get demoted to double.
Get him ready to come to the show.
We're gonna have our logo on the fence out there.
Oh, that's a bold statement right there. Dude, put it out there.
But you know what's even better? If we can get out like in left field and get in that left fielder's ear, and then that left fielder gets called up to the show.
Yeah.
We go to Minute Maid Park and be like, hey, buddy.
Hey, bro, remember me?
And we're still in that dumb swimming like Michael Phelps.
We didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, so I think that could be, a little home field advantage built in right there.
Hey, if Astros do what they say and they're going to let fans in the stands, there's a very real possibility that's going to be the only team in Houston worth watching.
Yeah, those prices may be premium. But speaking on the Astros, obviously we're in the offseason. We're about to get into the hot stove era and see what's going on with these free agents. But we had Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, and Kyle Tucker up for Gold Gloves. And we went 0 for 3. And the only egregious one is Carlos Correa. We all thought, I think, if you take out the scandal and you just look at all bias and all
scandal?
All of it, good take. if you just look at what Carlos did this year, he's a Gold Glove winner.
Yeah, that was a crying shame. And
I feel bad for him. You saw Lance tweeting about it. You saw other guys tweeting about it throughout the year. We saw Blummer tweet about all his Gold Glove moments, and you thought this was finally the year he was going to get his Gold Glove. And
we all knew he wasn't going to win, right?
I thought he was. I thought the media would put aside their bias of what happened and give it to him because they gave it to some guy in Seattle.
That was all stats, no votes.
They went strictly stats. So the stats from Carlos Correa is what they took for the Gold Glove. Wow. Completely robbed, completely jobbed. We had Yuli Gurriel for first base, didn't get it. Kyle Tucker was somehow a finalist as well. Good for him.
Must have been a slow year in left field.
Yeah, must have
been.
Slow year. Because he took some terrible routes to baseballs throughout the season.
I think the only thing in these advanced metrics obviously put some insight to this. He covers a lot of ground when he's running for foul balls, trying to catch foul balls. And left field is pretty expansive if you're running from...
Especially with our shifts.
Right. So I think that's maybe why. I mean, he made a couple of long catches.
I mean, I said it throughout the year. Magellan himself took better routes than Kyle Tucker to baseballs.
Why don't y'all just show the guy the proper respect? All right, dude is a defensive wizard. Okay, he's the left-handed Jake Marisnik out there.
Right.
Like he qualified for a Gold Glove because one of the 3 best defenders of left field in baseball.
Hey,
right?
you have
show
that
the man
forever.
his respect.
You have that forever.
Sabermetrics, baby.
Hey.
That's why. Hey, if George wants to walk, that's fine. You know.
No, it's not fine.
It's not fine.
Please
don't.
You know what? I hot take here. I'm okay with George walking. He's on the wrong side of 30. He's had a good enough career that he's going to command a lot of money. A lot of money that I would rather see go to Correa. I'd rather see go to Kyle Tucker. I'd rather see go to Jordan.
To your boy Framber.
To my boy Framber. I'd rather see go to the farm system. George, I love you. You done well. I'm so proud of everything you did here. Go get paid. We can't pay you.
I agree.
Go get paid.
I agree. I've said it from the very beginning with George Springer that he's on the, like you said, wrong side of 30. He's on the back end of his prime. He's going to get a ton of money in a non-COVID year. We'll see what these billionaires scream poor.
Oh, dude.
But
they're bleeding money.
If you can get a 2-year, 3-year deal for George Springer, I take it. If it's a 5-6 year deal when you're looking at 150, no, I'm probably out. But before we jump into where we predict Springer and Brantley going, Christian Javier up for Rookie of the Year.
Dude, that's huge.
Dude's a stud.
He kind of fell off a little bit in the second half.
Dude, this shortened season.
Which is a 60-game season, right? So how much can you say about it? Kind of fell.
Yeah.
But his first
playoff run,
4 or 5 starts combined with his playoff run, kid's going to be special.
And I don't think I honestly, and our guy Ben over at Apollo Media, who's wrote some great pieces, we'll link him down below of what his projections are for free agency. But we talked about Christian Javier, and we both kind of agree he's probably not a number 5 starter. He's just utilizing that role. I would love to have him in that Ryan Presley role, that pre-injury Ryan Presley, where he was the high leverage guy for AJ Hinch, that ate 2 or 3 innings, that could be Javier. And he's throwing, 3 or 4 times a week instead of 1 time a week.
Yeah.
And he's just pitching in the, hey, let your nuts hang moments.
Yeah.
And it's fucking Christian Javier coming out, giving it to Paredes Taylor, and then whoever our closer is.
He's got the stuff for it.
So I think he could be that guy.
Tailor-made
and
for it.
eat a ton of innings and be a perennial all-star. If they wanted to make him a starter, fine. I mean, that's probably not his ceiling. His ceiling's probably in that high leverage role. But I mean, the future's bright. We talked about
the Brad Peacock type.
Yeah, we talked about the worry of the minor league system. But your entire minor league system was up this year, and they showed out. And yeah, they learned trial by fire.
They sure were.
Trial by fire.
Holy shit!
But look,
the Astros
they got Major League reps
way
this year.
farther than everyone thought they were going to.
Yeah. So you have you're worried about the oh my gosh, the Astros are 28th in the Major League Baseball, the minor league system. Hell,
Half of them are here though.
Half of them are in Houston. That's what you want, right? When you're a player personnel, you're a GM. Your goal is, what can I do to build a farm system to get to the major leagues? And we are hitting at a 50 to 60% rate. Any team across Major League Baseball will take that. And shout out Jeff for doing that. And
Papa, yeah.
So yeah, our minor league system may be whack right now, but everyone's up and they're going to thrive for 4 or 5 years. Framber Valdez, staff ace, all of a sudden we have 5 years of control.
This is why
5 years.
All these rookies, we got a lot of control. Man, that's fantastic.
I don't mind
if Jordan comes back with his new bionic knees next year.
He's Iron Man.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
starts cracking baseballs again.
We're losing George, yes, but
No, hold on.
the playoffs
One
showed
thing. He came back one game, home run.
home run. No, and like 9
Jordan.
pitches. Yeah.
First time at. Hey,
So
Yeah.
the playoffs showed that the demise of the Houston Astros was greatly exaggerated.
Fake news.
Right? It was greatly
Fake
exaggerated.
news.
Yes, you lose George. You get a
their
full
window
season
has
of Jordan.
closed.
You get a full season of Jordan. Kyle Tucker took the step this year, right?
Dude, he looked good at the plate.
I'm
finally.
gonna jump a topic here. I think Brantley stays. I think Michael Brantley's staying here. I think that if there's any fire to the smoke that is the Ozuna news, I think that you are bringing Jordan back, Ozuna back, completely replacing George Springer, and I think that
Osuna or Ozuna?
Ozuna, Marcell Ozuna.
You're bringing him back.
No, I said bringing him in.
No, you didn't.
I said bringing Jordan. It's fine. Look, damn it,
I do think there's a way
the
that
offense
you
is
can
going to be
replace-
fine. And to your point, the people we brought up from the minors were all arms, and the arms were fine. The arms showed that they can do
And they
it.
got big innings.
Right.
And I think taking it from Matt Damon's The Martian when he said, I'm going to science the shit out of this, I think you can moneyball the shit out of this if George Springer walks.
100%.
Because you have a full year. We have not seen a full year of Yordan Alvarez. It's like Yordan Alvarez is like a mythological Greek tragedy that we just read about in a history, but we don't even know.
It's a fairy tale.
We haven't seen a full year of him.
He's
and
a
now we have a
fairy tale.
Kyle Tucker full year. You can moneyball those numbers.
Full year.
A full year.
Full year.
A Moneyball, a George Springer, and the averages and means, and let the nerds do the science stuff of it.
Exactly.
You can replace that, and then if you get a Marcel, you get Brantley back.
To your point exactly about George Springer, they're talking about bringing in Jackie Bradley Jr.
Hey,
Jackie Bradley Jr. is George's defense. Jordan is George's power.
He's
and
old.
Kyle Tucker is George's,
I mean, JBJ will be serviceable,
off and on production.
and also
He shows up big in the postseason.
end up killing us in 18
We
because
saw
he
it.
was Ted Williams all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But okay, so before we get into the rundown of the Hall of Fame class for Major League Baseball this year, guesses for Springer and Brantley.
So
I guess Reddick too. We can throw Reddick.
Yeah, Springer, I think will end up at the Mets.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mets too. Cohen's going to throw a lot of money at him.
Yeah, they got the new richest owner in the MLB.
Who buys $95 million rabbits?
Yeah.
Glass rabbits.
Yeah, he bought some stupid sculpture for $114 million.
Unbelievable.
So
What am
they got Cano got
breaking news
suspended.
today. Cano.
Got suspended today for PEDs again. He's
Cheater.
out all next year.
People
He's
say
cheater.
he got that tendency
Cheater.
from
the
New York.
Yankees?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we know
Wow,
that.
look at that brave. That was pretty good right there.
We know
that.
that.
was pretty good.
Also, he's forfeiting his $24 million salary, though. So that's going to go towards whoever the fuck they want to put it toward.
But
Right?
one of my favorite things from the Steve Cohen presser was he said, I'm not buying the Mets to make money. I make money on my day job. So he's saying, I'm going to come here and spend money.
That was kind of a
he wants to show out.
Billions comment. He's like, what's the point of fuck you money if you can't say fuck
Exactly.
you? That's
exactly. And that's 100% what it is. You know, he's been trying to buy a team for a little while now, and I think that
They finally
he
approved.
wants to come out there and he's going to throw his dick down a little bit. I think Springer's going there.
I think Springer ends up on the East Coast. We're probably in the mess because they're gonna throw the bag at him. And good for George. He deserves it.
He deserves it. 100%.
deserves it.
He got his ring. George did everything here that he was supposed to do here. You know?
100%.
And
He was a savior.
He was the World Series
was the
MVP
World Series
for
MVP.
crying out loud.
Mike, I love you. I miss you, but I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to be
He was
mad
a
at you.
kid
I'll
that
never
we drafted
boo
out of
you.
Connecticut that
Right.
was like, okay, this is the new piece that is going to lead the wave of the
Right.
Houston Astros coming back, and it happened.
He was
It
the
did.
cover of the ESI article.
Yeah,
Right?
Go get your money,
Yeah,
George.
Go do it.
Brantley, there's a lot of smoke right now about him coming back.
Astros. I'm
Uh,
thinking he's back.
my sources say
Oh, sources alert!
no. I can't remember who told me this, but someone heard through the grapevine that he was telling his agent that he wanted to get out of here because he was sick of the shit show from all the press and the cheating scandal that he wasn't involved in. That being said, I would love to have him back here. Dude's just a clean hitter,
That sounds like all bullshit.
and it probably is because Waj didn't report
There
it.
was no fans in the stands. It's been over for 2 years. Like, what bullshit did Michael Brantley do?
You know,
with?
I agree, but that's just like I said.
But I think he's a very
That's all I heard.
It's not like the Houston media on the Zoom call was asking Michael Brantley about the cheating scandal.
Yeah, I don't think it's Army. I think it's the national media and just the barrage of
But
it.
when did he talk to the national media?
I think it was the fallout and the mishandling again of PR at spring training,
Yeah.
pre-COVID, and all that shit. So I think Springer and Brantley are a lot more correlated than people know. I think the common fan
They're besties.
common fan knows they're best friends. They ride together at games. But I mean, there's not a realm of possibilities where
Are you saying they're a package deal?
If we were to re-sign Brantley,
They're
I
a
think the
package
odds
deal?
go up to maybe re-sign Springer.
Oh, look at now. That's a take.
I
Dez.
think if Brantley is the first domino to fall, things get a little bit more interesting where the front office would be like, hey, we can get George. Do we
What-
want to get George?
What numbers get George back here?
Who's his agent? Is it Boris?
Brantley? Can we get a production? Can we get a production look on that?
Yeah. Josh, look that up for us.
I think Springer
Josh,
is
pull
in
that
the 5 for 150 range in a non-COVID
That sounds
year.
right.
In a
I was thinking-
non-COVID year. So I would offer George a
In my head, I said
3-year
30 million.
85,
3-year 85. So
90.
there's a lot of disconnect with George though as well because hey, he was a guy that went through the era of it all. They also, the Astros, and maybe Click can spin this in a way like, hey, I'm the new guy. I respect you a lot more than the previous regime. They fucked with the service time. They kept him down. They fucked
That was
with
the
his
biggest disservice we did to him. How he was 26 when he came up? 25?
So
That's outrageous.
That's money out of his pocket. So that's why, and people are like, oh, Dez, you know.
And no one was holding him down.
No one.
Like, Michael Bourne had been long gone. by the
And
time
so that's
George
money
came
out of his pocket. And so that's why I want George to go get his bag. I mean, he deserves it. But I think there's underlying factors there.
Who's
where,
to say Cohen won't come out and just, like I said, show out?
George's agent is Excel Sports Management.
What about Michael Brantley?
It's the same.
The same? Oh wow!
Oh,
Holy shit, they are a
there's
package deal,
Hey,
dude.
what a
They
little
are
smoke
package
and fire
deal.
there. So
Probably-
hey, maybe the odds. Go get Brantley first, and let's
yeah, they
put
got
little-
Jerry Maguire going like this. Yeah, so can you get a buck? Yeah, but no. So you know, if Brantley doesn't end up back here, fuck. I mean, they're gonna have an outfield to fill out.
You
Right?
can go, well, look at Ben's post. I mean,
Dude.
Robbie Grossman.
I'll tell you, if
I
you
just
haven't
don't know
watched
where
it,
Michael Brantley goes.
or if you haven't read the article that Ben put together, it's called Astros in the Outfield, and it is his top 10 prediction and free agency to fill the vacancies in the Astros outfield. It's probably the best article on Apollo today.
100%.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, because I shit post most of the time. So yeah, 100%. 100%. So
Robert's heel turn was a very good article. As
yes, it was, and it came
Really
to
was.
fruition.
It really was.
It really came to
Yeah,
fruition.
100%.
So quick rundown of the Hall of Fame class. Who's in and who's out? Let's just run through these guys real quickly. hopefully I have it. Kurt Schilling.
In.
In, out. Wow. Roger Clemens.
Out.
This year, should be in. PEDs?
Mind you, both should be in.
Both should be in, but
neither's going to make it in.
the dinosaurs of the Riders and the grudges they hold because they're nerds. Barry Bonds.
Should be
100%
in.
should be in.
Yeah,
No,
100% will
He's
be
the best
should have
baseball
been
player
in.
of all time.
Best
been in.
baseball player of all time.
Yeah, won't be in.
Won't be in. Omar Vizquel.
Omar Vizquel should be on the ballot.
No.
Scott Rowland.
Fuck Scott
No.
Rowland.
Well, that's a lot of
I'm
Cardinals.
biased.
That's a
I can't
bias.
say it.
That was
I
a lot
can't
of
say
bias. Cardinals. He has a legitimate argument,
Fuck that guy.
but fuck him.
Cincinnati Red legend Scott Rowland.
Billy Wagner. Billy Wags.
Dude.
Recency.
Mr. 100.
Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner's going to be one of those guys that benefits from the steroids era because I don't think Billy Wagner is a Hall of Famer, but Billy Wagner might get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like like you said about these writers, it's going to be shoving it in someone's face like, yeah, fuck you, Barry Bonds, you're not in, but Billy Wagner's in. It's like, dude, that's a travesty.
Yeah.
That is a travesty.
Gary Sheffield.
Juicer out.
Yeah, I'd say no, and mostly just because his son's a fucking tool bag.
Yeah. Todd Helton.
No.
Third year on the ballot.
No.
Manny Ramirez.
Yes.
He should be, but
Ooh.
no, he won't.
I think he's just in that steroid era. Like
Yeah.
that
He deserves it.
he deserves
Put
it.
him in.
He deserves to be in it just for the high five out in the field.
100%
Dog.
That
Put
was-
him in.
He deserves it for the cutoff.
Fuck these nerds that don't put the guys in for juicing.
Astros fan favorite Jeff Kent.
No. Jeff Kent's not on.
No, yeah, I'm saying Jeff Kent's in.
Oh?
I'm calling Jeff
Wow.
Kent in. Yeah. He's going to sneak
Was
some
it
votes
his
off.
bad boy attitude that just
No, I just think that, again, with the steroid stuff and the people who aren't going to get the votes that they're supposed to get, I mean, who's better, Scott Rowland or Jeff Kent?
that's a lot of votes to get.
Fuck you,
from
St. Louis. It's
27.5%.
Jeff Kent.
Nah,
Get out of here, Colin. How dare you?
This is a guy I'll probably go on a ledge for that I think would probably get in this year, and this would be a big jump from 19.4%. Andrew Jones.
No. Hall of Very good.
You
But
know,
it's a steroid ballot.
Yeah.
But
He's
even
very
then,
good.
like, Andrew Jones broke into the scene.
Dog, he was so fun to watch. Come on.
So fun. And wonderful defense, but the last 4 or 5 years of his career, he was just really, really bad. And I think that tanked his numbers. I don't think so. Hall of Very good.
Sammy Sosa.
No.
Should be and
Should
won't
be,
be.
but
should
won't
be.
be. Andy Pettit.
Should be, won't be, PEDs.
I don't know if he should be.
Bobby Abreu.
No.
Astro Bobby Abreu.
No.
And then a bunch of guys first year on the ballot. Tim Hudson.
No.
Probably not. Mark Burley.
No.
Perfect game, Mark Burley.
Even though Mark Burley...
that was probably one of the best perfect games of all
Mark
time.
Burley would-
Dwayne Wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
In center field, his catch.
Mark Burley would definitely have the shortest speech.
Yes.
Just go out there and get it done. Thank you.
Terrell.
I got that joke. It was great.
It's a
Thank you.
Torrey Hunter. Probably not.
No.
Not on this ballot, but
Not
he'll
first
make it.
year, no.
Yeah,
Dan
not first.
Herron. No.
No.
Barry Zito. The
Dan Herron-
nastiest 12-6 of all time.
Can I get back to Darren Herron real
Yeah, we can
quick?
touch on
At
Herron.
I throw 88. Love that guy. Love that guy. I was a big Dan Herron guy. No, he'll never make it.
Barry.
But I was a big Dan Herron guy.
Barry Zito in that flow of hair. The nastiest 12-6 I think ever.
It was
He
pretty
threw
nasty.
it to God. God touched it and went down and hit the catcher's spot.
Yeah, where'd you hear that? Did you just come up with that?
What was Barry Zito's
Yeah, I
career
just came up with
ERA?
that.
Like, yeah, it was close
God
to
was
4,
like,
This is
wasn't it?
mine. Yeah, he just snapped it up.
Yeah.
Aramis Ramirez made the ballot.
110?
Shane Victorino? Nope. AJ Burnett?
Did they just put anyone on the
Yes,
fucking
they
Hall of
really
Fame
feel.
ballot
I'm
now?
looking at it now.
Shane
Listen to this
Victorino?
next one. Listen to this.
The Flying Hawaiian?
Nick-
Get the fuck out of here,
Nick
dude.
Swisher.
Oh, yeah. First ballot, dude. Unanimous.
Put him in.
LaTroy Hawkins. Astro legend.
I do
LaTroy
love
Hawkins.
LaTroy Hawkins.
And Michael Kadire. I mean, like, Michael Kadire can
Michael
go to his,
Kadire.
he can go to
Wow.
his hometown forever and be like, yeah, I was on the Hall of Fame ballot and market that for the rest of his life. And his
Yeah,
kids
man.
could do that and make
Fantastic.
$1 million. So, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting.
If I
We
had
may
a
get
vote,
one.
I would vote for Michael Kadire just to show what a fucking sham it was.
I mean,
oh, Michael Kadire's all yeah, let's put him in.
if there's
baby.
ever a year for the steroid people to get in, it would be this year.
Indeed. Yeah.
Let him
That-
in.
Yeah.
Dude,
we'll
let
see,
Barry
just see
Bonds
how,
in the Hall
We'll
of
just
Fame.
see how they're just.
You take Manny Ramirez, Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens off that list, and I don't think I vote for any of them. Kurt
Sosa?
Schilling. Yeah, Schilling. Sosa had good years, but how
Sosa.
great was Sosa?
All right,
They're not 8.
let's do a quick fire. What do you want to see from each of the big three teams in 2021?
I
Texans,
want to
Astros,
see
and
a
Rockets?
competent front office across all the boards.
Thank
Just
you.
give me that.
That was what I had in my notes also.
Look at that.
You'll definitely get
man.
it from the Astros.
Will we?
You'll probably get it from I believe in Clay.
Okay.
I believe in Clay.
So Easterby,
You'll
that
probably
guy's
get
a
it
weirdo. He got to get going.
You keep calling
he's
him a weirdo, dude. You hate
yeah,
that guy.
I don't like
I
him.
didn't know about the background of the little
Yeah,
cult
dude,
stuff
he's
he had.
weird.
That's
He's
a lot
weird.
Not to be
of
fair,
Fugazi.
he said he's weird because he's a pastor.
No. He's got a strange resume.
Yeah, I didn't know about the resume. I didn't know about research.
It's professional
That's a
weird.
little
Well,
Yeah.
and what was even weirder was I was taking these notes earlier, and I tried to pull up his Wikipedia page. Bro, he don't have one.
Ooh,
Now look,
what?
I'll give the Texans.
I
credit.
have a Wikipedia page. It's called Spaceman.
Got that.
I'll give the Texans credit for this. They came out today and they're like, just so everyone knows, this dude is not going to be our GM. So this guy that's here, we're not really sure what he does. Why
What
he's
is
here.
he doing?
No one knows, dude. It's just like Belichick said. He was like, he used to send me positive affirmations.
Okay.
What? We have to give the guy a jersey for that?
He's leading the prayer in the locker room
But the-
before they come out, or
But the
what?
problem is, he may not be the GM, but he's running the search.
Right now he is.
Yeah,
That's the
but
problem.
the Texans got that Corn Ferry.
This all goes to the
Party,
top,
yeah.
dude. This
It's
all
Cal,
goes to
it's
Cal.
Cal,
It
it's
all
Cal.
goes to
Let's hit the cues.
Yeah, let's jump into it. We have our Ask
I had
Apollo
some takes
segment.
on what I wanted from 2020.
Yeah, go ahead. While I pull it up real quick.
I want the Roughnecks back. That's it.
Don't we
That's
all?
all I want.
That's
Rough
all
necks.
we want. Okay, so we have our Ask Apollo segment. We'll wrap it up this evening. Collin went on and got this questions going. We said, hey, hashtag Ask Apollo. We always end our segments with these questions for us. First one is from Astro Drone at Utah Drone Guy. If Harden is traded, do the Jazz finally get past Houston in the playoffs?
No.
No, we own.
No,
we own
drone
Utah.
guy. You never get past us ever.
Sorry, bro. It's not happening. Vernon Maxwell will not allow it. He will simply not allow
Your
it.
best player is Donovan Mitchell, who at best is the sixth man of a year for a 5 seed somewhere. All right, accept your mediocrity.
This is from Beno Reyes.
I don't want to be
Burner.
mean to him. He's so nice.
What's the future of Houston sports looking like? We're including Dynamo as well after they dropped that trash logo yesterday.
It was awful.
The logo was very bad.
Very bad. The Dashes logo I did like.
I like the Dash one.
Did
What
not
did your buddy said that the new Dynamo logo
He
looked
didn't
like a
love it.
minor league baseball
He
team?
said it was a minor league baseball team.
Yeah,
he
and
said
I
it
Oh,
agree.
excuse me, Houston Dynamo Football Club. The
Football club. He said the football club
FC,
thing was
yeah.
no. So my friend
FC.
Alex is a huge soccer fan. He's been a Dynamo season ticket
No
holder
government
for years.
names.
His name's not
Redacted.
actually that. Redacted. He's been a season ticket holder for years.
I'll be good.
They just refuse
Yeah, my
to
baby.
field like a competitive team, right? So he thought that this move was marketing at best. Like it's not really anything other than, hey, here's a new
What
logo.
was that?
Also, we're going to be the FC. We're still not going to field a competitive team, but we've got a new logo, right?
We'll see.
He said the logo, and I agree with this. It doesn't really say anything Houston in it. You know, there's nothing Houston about it.
You know, it's one of these things where people are so starved for sports right now. I'm very inclined. If I knew more people that were into Dynamo, should I be at all the games?
They're just another mediocre sports team, dude. We got plenty of them right now.
I know, but they're it's fun to go to a game.
So the original
Drink beer.
question was the outcast. Like,
What's
how
the
do you-
future? Yeah, what's the future cast looking?
So I'll do this, and we'll go around the board if y'all want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
The brightest future right now is Astros.
100%.
The most okay future is the Rockets, and the everything's totally fucked future is the Texans.
Agreed.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'll probably put the Rockets in the totally fucked if we traded Harden.
No, they'd get assets back.
But
Right.
who wants to see Jared
Like
Allen?
if Bill O'Brien traded James Harden, he'd trade him for like
A bag of
Spencer
basketballs.
Dinwiddie and a 2027 second round pick, right?
Spencer loves
And then
Bitcoin.
you're totally fucked.
This is from Lockmeyer. He goes, "Do you think the Astros will ever get past the cheating scandal? What would it take? Would another World Series end the hate?"
Here's my answer. To the people on Twitter.com application, no. The Astros will never get past the cheating scandal. To most casual baseball fans, I'm sure some of them don't even know about it, or they will forget about it. The problem is the Astros were 8 outs away from winning the World Series last year.
And forced a Game 7 this year in the pin.
And forced a Game 7. If they were to win that World Series last year, people would still have said they probably cheated.
Yeah,
right?
the
Even
Buzzers.
though they didn't. Everyone knows they didn't. If anyone's paid any attention to it, they know that they didn't. No, I don't think they will. To super baseball fans, they'll never move past that. It'll just be like the Yankees doing
No,
steroids. In
well-
I think it'd be
2000s.
like the writers with the steroid guys. There'll always be a little cloud. And
No,
it's-
everything's the next headline now. So I agree with Collin that another title won't get rid of it. It'll just reinforce it. But eventually there's going to be a story that people care about more. So as with everything, time's going to make it
Once
go
all the
away.
people are gone.
Right. Yeah, once everybody's gone. If we go through another 100-loss season, like time.
I mean,
time
you
heals
see
it.
it now.
We got,
Or
but two of the
if Michael Schwab can get the Yankees letter unsealed and we get the heat off us and onto them, you
Yeah.
know, like that will help.
That would be great. But I mean, we're seeing it now with free agencies and coaches. AJ Hinch all of a sudden is redemption story. Cora, he did his time. Redemption story.
Oh, yeah.
George
Oh, no.
Springer.
Hey.
George Springer.
Lunell's going to get a job.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Lunell's
I
gonna
don't
get a job.
want to hear a fucking word from you, dude. Cora owned it privately. End of story.
That's right. Look, they punished the video replay guy that did it.
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
And then,
Sure, they brought him back, but they punished him in the
now
time.
he's a head
all right?
scout.
They,
I
they
mean,
punished him
geez
in the time.
Louise. Next question. This is from @ArginusRich_Rich. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you. You're welcome.
Hey, anytime, bud.
He goes, do you think the Astros underperformed this season due to no fans in games? Do you guys think they'll do better next season?
First.
Almost every team underperformed this year. The preseason thing, I think, fucked everyone's routines up.
Yeah.
Most teams were underperforming. Everyone liked to highlight that the Astros were underperforming because of the cheating scandal that was exposed, which was stupid, and the trash cans didn't help. Look up the numbers. Fuck you if you think it helps.
Shout out Tony Adams, friend of the program.
Yeah, and other reporters that have done even more
Extensive
research off of Tony's data. So, do I think they'll play better next year? Shit, they might. I mean, pitching, really, I think it comes down to pitching.
I think
offense
it's a
is
cool
gonna
thing to
be
do
there.
to come out and boo the Astros. I don't
Yeah.
like that next year.
You had no Yordan Alvarez. You had one start from Justin Verlander. You had half a season of Roberto Ozuna. You had Lance McCullers miss time. You had Jose Altuve have by far his worst season in the major leagues.
Had your Creedy
You
miss
had
half 75%.
Urquidy missed time. You had 947 minor leaguers pitch at some point
You
this
had
year.
a manager
and you
eating
made
a
it to Game
lollipop
7
and-
of the ALCS. You were one game away from the World Series. Did they underperform? Absolutely not. They overperformed. They had
think-
no business being where they were. And yes, they will
It-
100%
well,
perform at this level again next season.
Yeah, they underperformed, but everyone else also underperformed,
Correct.
so they just edged it out.
Yeah. And then they showed up when they had to show up.
And they showed up in the post almost.
This is from a good friend of the program, great human being, Dr. Asperger.
Dude sucks.
What kind
Dude
of
sucks.
death cocktail do you recommend? Question mark. Chlorine, diesel, Everclear.
Robert and I, we go straight for the bleach after the Texans games. We're
Yeah.
chugging bleach.
If we're doing like
Clorox.
actual death cocktail, then yeah, the Clorox.
I like Fabuloso, just spice it
Yeah,
up.
Fabuloso.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's
Spice it
purple.
up.
It's fun.
Yeah.
If you want the feel like death cocktail, then you go to the Everclear.
Yeah.
Like, you're not
little-
going to die, but boy,
A
you're
little
going to want
jungle
to.
juice, a little jungle juice action.
Ooh.
Just, whew,
Ooh.
that'll get you real bad.
Man, I
It's
just
college
had
right
like
there.
23
Yeah.
all over again. Ooh.
Might as well set up the gasoline.
This is from @Grizzly Ballard. He goes, have Ribbert
Oh,
tell
my
the
boy.
story. Yeah, have Ribbert. This is directed to you. Tell the story when we were in Dallas for WrestleMania
Ooh.
and we tossed beers over the house. Have him touch on how Dallas is gross as fuck and Houston isn't. Thanks.
Okay, so to the second point first, Dallas, awful city. Very, very bad place. And I understand being from Houston, I'm naturally like predicated to hate Dallas. But I went to Dallas multiple times with an open mind. It's just an awful place. So me and, gosh, it was like 8 buddies. We rented a house in Dallas. WrestleMania weekend. We go up Friday. We make a whole weekend of it. We go to all the local shows. And the house had a pool. So Stone Cold Steve Austin used to do a thing where people would throw in beers from the stands, right? So he'd be in the ring. People just throw him beer from the stands. Hey, we'll do that. We send someone to the other side of the house. Hey, throw a beer over the house into the guy in the pool. Fun, wonderful, fantastic. Until you're on the other side of the pool and shit turns into World War II Normandy and you've got beers just flying at you from out of nowhere.
That'll knock you out.
Yeah. So
you're intoxicated at this point.
Oh yeah, we're hammered. Yeah, we bought a keg. What we did there, we had 2 title belts. We had the World Champion belt and we had the Intercontinental belt, and they were 24/7 belts. So at any point, someone could challenge you to it, and it was always a drinking contest. So let's say Collin's got the Intercontinental belt. I wake him up at 3 a.m. and I say,
"Give me that."
First
belt.
one to shotgun a beer wins the belt, right? And he's like, "Oh, what the heck's going on?"
So you got to scramble.
Yeah, I shotgun the beer. Bam, Tyler's mine. We do this for a whole weekend. There's no sleep. There's only drinking involved. So after 2 days of this, you're in the pool and someone's Steve Austining you some beers. It was a good time. Good
That
time.
sounds like a lot of fun.
A good time that you don't replicate, right?
Yeah.
I can do that when I'm 25. I couldn't do that today. I'd get concussed for sure.
Yeah, not at 26.
Miss you, Ballard.
This is from Frank Garcia, Frank G5. Potential 2021 Astros lineup. We can just okay this. It's he has it as Altuve, Brantley in left, Bregman, Osuna in right field, Correa, Alvarez, Tucker in center, Yuli at first, Machete behind the dish. I think that
sounds
That makes the most sense
realistic.
to me. Yeah, it
I
sounds
think
realistic.
JBJ's probably there. I don't know. There's a lot of smoke now with Marcel. I don't know if we.
Okay, put Jackie Bradley Jr. in that lineup. Who do you take out? Ozuna?
I don't think we get Azuna. That's what my argument is. There's a lot of money there, and he had a great year and great postseason. So I'd probably say JBJ in center, Tucker in right, but I would take that lineup too. I mean, I would take this lineup that
Let's see either way.
Frank presented. And the last one, do you think ESPN will do a 30 for 30 titled "The Misery of Houston Sports Fan"? There's a lot of material to work with.
Yeah, that was Scott Elliott, by the way.
Yes, Scott Elliott.
You know, the term "Heartbreak Houston" didn't come from nowhere. We've been dealing with this shit our whole lives, professionally as sports fans. If that makes any sense.
27 missed threes.
They 27 missed threes,
The
8
fan
outs
area.
away. You know the
24-0 in the playoffs.
Houston teams will blue
They
balls
hit
you.
off
They will
Carlos
blue
Glove,
balls you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Howie Kendrick.
shit,
Pujols home run.
I don't think that they're.
The Letterman Jackets.
The
They
Letterman Jackets.
normally make 30 for 30s off of one specific issue.
11-1
So
Texans watching Shaw blow his leg out.
24-0 in the
24-0
in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think Apollo could run their own 30 for 30, not ESPN. I mean, just throw that out in the universe.
Yeah, you know, if they can...
Hey, say we won't.
They made a 10-hour series about Michael Jordan being great. We could absolutely make a 10-hour series on that.
100%.
Yes.
Well, we'll wrap
I have
that
a
up.
question
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
like to end off.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind. Dez, who is a money-making machine, the Warren Buffett of college football picks, if you
Lots.
will. I don't watch college football,
Lots.
but I do make money. I need lock, baby.
Lots.
Who do we got this weekend in the COVID college football programs?
Yeah, so we are at 13-4 going into this week. I haven't even looked at the board.
13
but
and 4
I've-
is what?
That's over 3-1.
13 wins, four losses.
What are you talking about? Those are your picks?
My picks on my Twitter, and I've been tagging our at Cash Landing podcast. The boys, Ben and his buddy, talk about Under the Apollo Media umbrella, talk about sports and gambling and their DraftKings lineups.
Folks, to
been
put it in
tagging
perspective, if you're hitting 60% of your bets, you're doing good. All right, Dez is hitting 3 wins for every 1 loss.
It's
This
not
is
sustainable.
fantastic.
It's not sustainable.
It
but
is.
it's been
So
a
follow
lot of
him.
fun.
Follow the picks. He's going to sustain this pace.
I really like Ohio State covering
Okay.
the 20 points.
Who they playing?
Indiana,
Okay.
number 9 Indiana.
Indiana's been feisty this
They've
year,
been
haven't
feisty,
they?
but I think Ohio State just flexes their muscles. That's a COVID though game. That's a COVID
Yeah.
little. And looking else at the board, we'll see that what comes into light. Cincinnati Central Florida is a really good game. I think I like the over 63 there. I think it's 2 teams that are just going to score a lot of
It
points.
sounds like an over game.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
Those are the 2 that I've been sitting on, and we'll see what else. I'll post on Twitter. But there's just with COVID and late reports coming out on into Friday into Saturday, you don't really know until
That's
Saturday
true.
morning.
Betting in COVID has been interesting.
It's like
to say
catching
the
a knife.
least.
It's like catching a
Right.
knife.
Because in the betting world, you have your two windows. You've got right when the line is announced, get your early number, and then you've got right before the game show.
75% of the
Right.
team is
This
not playing.
Right. You've got this is my last number, so I know this is where it's going to settle at.
Where's Rivers Flocks?
So I don't know about locks, but this week I've gotten away from teams. I've gotten a total. So
Ooh,
I like tomorrow night. And this is going to be counterproductive. I like Arizona Seattle under 57.5. Seattle not been putting up some numbers lately. Arizona doesn't put up a lot of good numbers outside. I think a lot of action is going to go to 57.5. That number might move to 58, 58.5. Grab an under on that. Betting the under is no fun, but I like the under on that.
Overs never die, but I like this under.
It's true. Miami, Denver, another under 45. Tua, 3-0. He's been killing it, but his stats not so great. Defense, special teams been doing it. Now he's going up to Denver. He's in the altitude. Denver does have a good defense. Offense not so good. Drew Lock hasn't been great. I think under 45 strong on that one. Atlanta, New Orleans, another under 50.5.
You're loving these unders.
I hate unders. I hate it. But you got Jameis Winston coming in there. Offense has to readjust to him. New Orleans has a good defense. You never know what you're getting out of Atlanta. Even a high-scoring affair there, 27-20, that's 47 points. 27-23, that's 50 points. So I got 3 unders this week. I think the numbers have been inflated because there's been a lot of offense. Those are my picks for this week.
I like them. I'll bet them.
I'm telling you too.
I'm gonna take them. So,
Okay.
Thank you guys for tuning in for the Apollo Hour once again. Colin, thank you for having us in your beautiful home.
You're welcome.
Robert, thank you for coming out and
Des,
spending
thank
the
you
hour
and
half
Josh and David, everyone behind the scenes,
our production
putting
team.
it together. We got this one recorded.
Hopefully,
We'll go back. We'll watch the tape. We're going to try and get a little better. We're going to move on to next week.
yes, 100%.
Maybe the week after that.
We're on to next week. We're on to next week's.
We're on the next
competition,
show.
yes.
We're on the next show.
And I think we're gonna start turning these out a lot more YouTube content, things centered like this with all our personalities. We'll be here. We'll have new faces and new people coming in and
Fucking
out.
personality. You seen this mug?
Yeah,
Look at
look
this
at
mug.
that. Look at that. And you can see it right behind him as well. There's a
And
second
Des
one.
is 13-4 picks. You tune in for that alone.
Yes.
Let's make some
Hey.
money, people.
We're gonna stumble ass backwards into success.
That's
what
right.
Apollo does.
All right.
Love you guys.
All right.
Fuck you, Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.